Good morning, Misfits. It is June 30th. It is episode 494. I hope everybody's doing well. I appreciate you very, very much. And it's the last day of June. For many of us in our profession, it is the last day of the first half of the year. It is the last day potentially of your biggest month ever. So there's a lot of things happening today. And the question is are you ready? Are you ready for the second half of the year? And would it be okay? Well, let me ask you this. In the chat, I just want to ask this as we start, because it might have some influence on a blessing this morning. Your first half of the year, just in the chat, a B, a W, or an E. This first half of the year compared to the first half of last year, better, worse, or even? B, W, or E? Better, worse, or even? So this first half of the year, now, okay, so for most people, it's been a better first half of the year. I need you to become aware of that, because as you become aware of that, and listen, if it's worse, then that's fine too. But if this is better than the first half of last year, do you realize the position that you sit in? I really want you to sit and understand that. Do you think if I were to ask this to the global population, just based upon percentage, so I'm looking here, I think I only saw one even. So one even out of however many responded, a dozen that responded, because not everybody responded. The question then becomes, how better are you doing than the rest of the world? And how is it possible to have a horrible day if you're doing better than 99% of the world, 98% of the world, 97% of the world? Do you realize that there is no economy? There's only your economy. You just proved that what happens out there doesn't really affect you. It's what happens inside you that affects you. I hope you grasp that. So now the next tough question is that can you double the first part of your year? Can you take what you did in the first part of the year and can you double it in the next 6 months, starting right now? What would happen if you doubled your success in the next 6 months? Can you recognize it? Have you ever had that level of success before? I hope the answer is no. But if you've had that success before, then let's double that. Because we've played too long to get back to even. Does that make sense? We've played too hard, too long to get back to someplace we've been. It's time to move forward. It's time to take it to the next level. So that being said, I'd like to start us off in a little blessing and have our head misfit of spirituality.
Y'all have no idea how right that title is. So this is a no makeup day today. All right, let's pray right quick. Heavenly Father, I thank you for today. I thank you for time together. I thank you for the prayer that you put on my heart yesterday that is to be prayed today. Father, I ask for each one of us that's on this call, for you to give us eyes to see each other and the world the way you see us, with the love that you created us with, like a father holding our hands, holding us in your hands. Father, take our desires and switch them to your desires for us so that we line up with that good and perfect will. And let us be able to see that and step into that purely blessed, amazing, successful place. Help us to be able to recognize that in one another, and help us to be able to bring that out not only in ourselves, but in one another. Help us to love each other the way you've designed us to and the way you love each one of us. And more importantly, Father, help us to see those that think differently than us the way you see them, with the love that you created them with and with the heart that you put inside of them, beating just like ours. Father, soften our hearts, do away with our egos so that we can come in alignment with each other, holding hands with each other in a place of unity and peace, in a place where we can exhale and be in more joy and not be so worried and concerned about differences. Help us to have eyes to see, Lord, your eyes. Grant us those eyes. You've kept saying that to me for the whole last 24 hours. Help us to have that. Help us to walk through this call today to get closer to that. Give Sean the words that help us to see and hear, incline our hearts. Protect his thoughts and his words. Protect everyone's thoughts and words that are on this call. Anyone that speaks, let it be exactly what you need them to speak and be helped with, or help us with, or both. And Father, we just thank you for today, and we give you all the glory in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rhonda. Good morning, Misfits. And with covering like that over you, I can only imagine the joy that flows through our days. Thank you, Rhonda. So here we go, the new start. This is a conversation that I've been having for the last 30 years, 35 years in sales, is that, what's that phrase? You can't go back and make a brand new today. Make a brand new start, but you can start today and make a brand new ending. So that's the question. Today's the last day. Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Don't say, well, tomorrow's a new day. Today's the day. Today's the only day that exists. Right now is the only moment that exists. If you're having conversations with your team, the neat thing about sales is it starts every morning and it ends every night. And it starts with every conversation and ends with every conversation. Sales is a transference of enthusiasm. And right now you have the opportunity to be this enthusiastic sharer of joy. That's all it is. How many people, if you think that you've had a good year, and I asked everybody on here just a minute ago, this first half of 2020 compared to the first half of 2019, was it better? Was it equal? Or was it worse? And 99%, 98% said this first half was better than last year. And last year, we didn't have all of this stuff going on. So if this first half is here and this first half is better, and listen, if it's equal for you or if it was worse, that's okay. The general populace out there is going to say, it wasn't so good. It wasn't so good. Many of them have put authority in things they have no authority over, and they've lost it. And this cycle that we're seeing of people wanting to find a way to have their authority back is going to continue. It's just human nature. This is a new cycle that we're going to be in. There's two ways to have the tallest building in town. Make yours bigger or tear everybody else's down. And you can see where some people's mindsets are, to tear everybody else's down. So you have a choice. You have a choice. It proves that if 98% of everybody's conversation in this community, in this call this morning, that your 2020 is better than 2019, your first half. First of all, most people would wonder, how is that even possible? So that's part of your conversation today. That's part of your dialogue, is that as you start going forward, you can ask people that. We're at a tipping point. We're at a milestone in 2020. So it's easily, the conversation is affordable to have with somebody. Hey, real quick, as we sit down before we get started, the first half of this year compared to last year, better, even, or worse? Oh, horrible for me. So then guess what? You get to have a conversation. Is it okay if we get back to even? Right? Because they can't see better. Most people can only see one step ahead. So if I'm making $1,000 a month, to make $10,000 a month ain't a reasonable step. To go from 1,000 to 2, yeah, I can fathom that. To go from 2 people on their team to 200, can't even imagine. 2 to 4, yeah, I can fathom that. So here's my question to you. And again, for those of you that just recently joined, if you're part of the secret sauce community that purchased the program, that purchased the academy, we're going to be doing 2 sessions probably throughout this entire 7-week series. So the first session is going to be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then probably 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you're actually going to get 2 sessions. I hope you're okay with that. I hope you're okay with 14 versus 7. If let me ask you in the chat, for those of you that have paid your fee to be a part of the program, are you okay with 14 sessions versus 7, or would you just like 7? Which number would you like? Okay, just checking. Just checking. Okay. I doubt that's going to be the program going forward. It'll probably be a live and then a recorded. So, yeah, I figured since you're the founders, we'll figure out the best way to give it to you and give you a little more access. So, that being said, can we double the first half of this year? Now here's another tough question. Here's another tough question. Based upon your goal for 2020, are you halfway there? Are you sitting at the halfway mark? Now that's a little tougher decision. Okay, so you're not sitting at the halfway mark. And that's okay. Here's the good news. You've got some great momentum going. The question is that now I need you to think about between where we are and where you want to get to, where the goal is supposed to be for December 31st. What has to happen? And let me let you in on a little clue. You want to know what the biggest challenge is about the new start? You want to know what the biggest difficulty is for most people to do right now? The biggest difficulty for most people, the secret that every one of you can use right now is the ability to say no. The absolute ability to say no. You may say no to a little more sleep. You may say no to a little more TV. You may say no to a little more social media. You may say no to all of the things that you know keep you from doing the things that will serve you. Can you imagine? I promise you, there's not one of you that ever thought about writing down 1,000 things you're good at. 100 was like, are you kidding me? And then to see all of a sudden in the chat, well, I'm going for 1,000. I'm going for 1,000. All of a sudden, isn't it funny how once you start saying good things about you, as Tony Robbins would say, the stack, you start stacking good things on you, you will start to realize, listen, I know it's comical, but wouldn't it be funny to walk through your house, to walk from your bedroom to the kitchen or to the loo, right? And not stub your toe and go, you know what? I didn't stub my toe. Why not? Why not find good things about everything? Why not say thank you for everything? Why not be so curious that absolutely you're doing the right thing at the right time with the right energy? Wouldn't it be okay if? Wouldn't it be okay if you were amazing? See, the new start is actually that. The new start starts when? Always now, in this moment, in this moment, in this moment, not in that moment, in this moment. You do have a choice. You do. You absolutely have a choice. Now, still finish out strong, still finish out the rest of the year, the rest of the first half of the year. I just glanced over to a statement that's absolutely interruption worthy. I have a newfound respect for myself. The whole, all of those words, every one of those words is an individual training. I have possession. A single, newfound, something absolutely new that didn't exist before. Respect. For, in action of, to this person, to myself. How many people would love to be able to say that statement? How many people would just absolutely wouldn't even know how to comprehend that statement? Think about that. Think about how many people are in your country. Think about how many people are in your country. 360 million here in the United States. I bet this morning, people waking up, there might be a couple of thousand. If there were 10,000, that would be a lot. Wouldn't that be an amazing number of people to have to wake up this morning, to wake up today, and at some point during the day say, I have a newfound respect for myself? Do y'all get this? This isn't about this is about changing the world, but it requires the epicenter to be identified. It requires the epicenter to be identified. So this newfound place that we have, this new moment that we have, this awakening that we have, realizing we're building our own secret sauce. This is a new start. Now, this could have been May 2nd. It could have been October 14th. It could have been December 16th. It doesn't matter the day. It's always a new start. We have a tendency to live our timelines based upon a calendar. What day would it be if you didn't know what day it was? The sun comes up. Ooh, there's the sun again. This is your moment. I'd start you a page of what things would you say no to? What things do you need to say no to? What would be valuable to you in your world to say no to? This idea of the first half of the year and your first half of the year is better than last year. Very few people can say that when we look at a global scale. So if you've been wondering, am I in a unique position? I hope the answer to you is yes. I hope you realize that you've done some amazing things. Now, the second part of this year, can we get to the goal that you set? I'd ask you to go look back, right? Today, maybe in some meditation, in some retrospection, I'd ask you to go back and look at your first part of 2020 and see where you fell short of why you're not at your halfway point for your goal. Now, maybe you were doing exponential, right? You were doing this month is this. Maybe let me ask a better question, because maybe you were going to do, well, I'm going to have if you're going to have a 10% growth every month, and that 10% growth was going to get you to the final number so that you're going to have a huge December, right? Or maybe a huge November. Are you on the path? Are you even on the path, right? Are you within a margin of where you need to get to? Or are you like totally, you're 70% behind target? Some of you may not even be aware of that number. I'd encourage you to become aware of that number. Yes, this is all about staying in the moment. This is about being aware of the moment. The question then is, do you know your numbers in the moment? No, absolutely not, Bakumi. It's not too late to make a yearly goal. You can do two things, Bakumi. You can do what most corporations do, right? They have a 10K and a 10Q. Publicly traded companies, they have a 10K, which is their quarterly, which is their monthly, and then they have a 10Q, which is their quarterly. Are they on quarterly? So you can make a brand new goal. Listen, you can start with a brand new goal. You can do a year goal starting today. This time next year, I can do this. So you can start right now. It doesn't have to be. Most people have their fiscal calendar based upon the calendar, right? When I had 7 companies, my fiscal calendars were on a quarterly basis because I was able to move inventories based upon year-end numbers to reduce taxes. So I had rules that I was able to use, and I used those rules to my advantage. I would minimize my internal inventory for whatever the tax was. I wasn't the accountant, but so there's reasons to have corporations that have their fiscal year on the calendar, and then you could have your fiscal year mid-year. So your calendar, your business year, your fiscal year starts July 1. So you can start right now and make a year goal from today and be on target. Let's see what else. Oh, and y'all send some love to Heather Love. She's maybe like 20 people away from her ranking to the first rank that she's been working towards. She got back to her previous rank last month, and she's working up to the next rank. This will be the first time she's been at this rank in 5 years, but she's been able to do it in 90 days. So congratulations to Heather.
Hey, Sean.
Yes, Latoya.
I don't mean to interrupt, but let's be affirmation that she's 20 people close to her new rank. Because when you say away, and I know a lot of people say this, I even had to catch myself, and I had to listen within that when we say words like away, I'm not saying like we're all negative.
No, listen, that's what we're all here for. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not to say, you guys are wrong or whatever, but I'm just saying like certain things like away, I think it's best to just say she's 20 people close to her new rank.
There you go.
It's very reachable. Because when it sounds like away, then people are like, oh my God, how am I get these other 20 people?
And so where that came from was me reading a post in my head where I saw somebody had posted that. So,
but it's actually less.
Yay!
I'm only 11.
Okay, you're 11 people closer.
11 people closer, and I'm on my way to the beach so I can be on the beach when it happens, because it's going to happen today.
Yeah.
Yay. So all of that to say, this is what we do. We get to be a part of each other's success. If there's anybody else, type it in the chat. If there's anybody else that's close to a rank, let us send you some love and support. Type in what you're, if you're getting close to a rank, let us send you some love and joy and people into your community. What else? So, way to go, Jennifer. Let's go, Jennifer. Let's go, Jessica. All right. First time hitting it as well. Way to go, Jennifer. Congratulations. Congratulations. Now, this is critical. These things are important, right? Recognition is important. So being able to hit those targets. We're in a profession. We're professional sales people. We're professional transference of enthusiasm people. We're going to make the world a better place. We're going to make the world, period. We could end that statement right there. We will make the world. Now, the choice is, do we choose to make it better? Do we choose to make it worse? There's some people who wake up, that's the only thing they can do is think about how to make it worse. They haven't quite crossed over to the fact that what they are doing will last forever. It hasn't sunk in yet. The fact that what they do is generational in nature. Everything is generational in nature. If you're going to go out this morning and throw stones through a window, that's generational. If you're going to go out and plant seeds in a garden today, that's generational. So, congratulations to all of you that are moving towards your rank. And a rank that the company says, congratulations, we will pay you whatever it is you want. That's the neat thing about our profession. People are so used to going out and getting a 3, 5, 6, 8% raise. We could do that. If I look at my check this month, let me do some real quick math here. 10, 20, probably a 30% raise this month. 33% raise this month. I don't know anybody who can go out and get a 33% raise this month. Unless it's us. And that was over a 20% raise last month. 19%. Do you realize what we have in our hands? The gift we get to give, the joy we get to spread. When this sinks in, I know for some of you it has sunk in. For some of you, it's still not quite there. It's still not quite there. What it is we get to do. I just read a post this morning. A buddy of mine out of the UK, who is a generic trainer and had swore that they would be a generic trainer for life. Just had to eat some crow and make this huge announcement. And I'm sure he's going to get some backlash, but he's stepping back into the field. And that's the challenge with a generic trainer, is that they wind up with a whole bunch of names and lists and everything else. And now it's, how do you walk that line of integrity? So there'll be some bumps and bruises and scars that he'll get for the next year. 90 days, 120 days will determine his integrity. But the point is that we are in a pretty amazing profession. And you have a chance right now to make this brand new start, to decide what it is you're going to do. If the first half of the year was absolutely sucky, great, get over it. This is where mental toughness comes in. This is where deciding today's the day you've had enough. And it's going to take some internal fortitude. It's going to take some internal conversation for you to take the next step, to move to the next step. You're going to have to determine what you're going to say yes to and what you're going to say a lot of yeses to and what you're going to say a lot of no's to. It's the 6 areas, right? It's Jim Rohn said it's a handful of things you do consistently on a daily basis that'll help you win, and a handful of things not done will cause you to lose. There's only 6 areas of your life: family, finance, body, mind, society, and faith. Those are the only areas you can work in. What do you do? What are you going to do? How much are you relying on others to do? How much are you relying on you to do? The conversations that you are having with yourself right now, are they critical voice conversations? Are they critical success conversations? Are they conversations about being in the frontier or being in the plane? What is it? What is it you're worth? Think about how many years you've been on this planet. You ready for this one? It's going to be a little tough. You may want to turn sideways so it doesn't hit you full on in the gut. Is this where you're supposed to be? Is this the highest use of your talent where you sit right now? Is there more? And is the more require more of you, or require you to focus more, require you to do less and isolate your greatness? Put it in such a way that you can absolutely step into your glory. Are you doing too many things to do too many things so that too many things are causing you to do too many things? What level of belief has to happen inside of you? What level of greatness needs to be revealed inside of you? So let's look at it. Let's look at it this way. Is it energy for focus, or is it saying no to everything else, that the only thing left is focus? Is it putting the blinders on so that you don't see anything? And how much extra is it going to take? Is it going to take an hour a day? See, when Darren Hardy talks about, Darren Hardy made me spend probably, I don't know, I listened to the first 2 minutes, the first 5 minutes of a conversation, the podcast between Darren Hardy and Kyle Wilson. Darren Hardy doesn't do podcasts for anyone. Kyle Wilson is a very dear friend of Darren's, and Kyle was the first one to be able to even do a podcast with him, let alone in Darren's house. And Darren started off the podcast, and in the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the conversation with Kyle, it's an hour and a half. I think it's maybe a 2-hour podcast. In the first 5 minutes, he made me spend about $4,000. Like that. He didn't make me. He didn't even tell me. He wasn't selling anything. But his level of clarity and focus, and I went, sassafrasa biscuit eater. Okay, I got it. And it was about where you spend your time. Do you have the luxuries of the key areas where you spend your time? There's your favorite chair. There's like they were in his office when they were doing this. He said, I spend most of my time in my office. He says, there's a part in the house where I have a favorite chair that I'll go sit in because it's if we watch TV. He said, but there's a breakfast nook, the area that I sit in that is absolutely has the most amazing views. He said, so that area, he said, he goes, what do you need the rest of the house for? He goes, if it was up to me, there'd be no furniture in any of those. I would spend all of that money in the places where we spend our most time. So I spend an awful lot of time in my office. So I went and I said, okay, I'm going to enjoy my office a little bit more. Where do you spend your time? Look at the places you spend your time. When I cook breakfast, I really like a non-stick pan for my eggs. That pan is so precious. It gets put away in a different cabinet up above where now Mason can reach it, but nobody else can reach that pan. That's my egg pan. Anybody have their pan? You know what I'm talking about? I've got my kind of pens that I use. I've got my kinds of journals. Are you willing to invest in you in the way that you know you're rewarding yourself, that every time you pick that thing up? Listen, when they came out with the headphones, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine spending that much money on headphones. When is it time to say yes to you? Moms, ladies, when is it time for you to say yes to you? And start right now. Start with the cream that you put. Listen, there's a heavy cream that they sell at Costco. That's the cream that goes in my coffee. There's just certain things that you have to raise the standard on. There's just certain things that you deserve to have, because once you start doing them, once you start having them, you'll begin to understand what it means, and people will start to feel the essence of you taking care of you. Isn't that the only reason anybody joins you? Isn't that the only reason anybody wants to learn how to dance, to sing, to eat better, to invest better, to sing better, to pray better, is to take care of themselves? You know why most people fall short? You know why most people stop? Is because very few people have been able to help them rewire their brain so that they can have a continual idea of better. Roxana, do you have a new baby? Y'all send some love to Roxana. And Roxana, we have a whole bunch of amazing moms on here who are working every day to have a better life for themselves, who are working every day to make their life better for their babies. And their babies could be 20 years old. So Roxana, you have a unique group of mothers and grandmothers who, if you need to ask a question to, especially in this business, if you're in the profession of our business, networking, MLM, me loving more, moms loving moms, mom last loving memories. Reach out to this community, because there's very few women on the planet who are in your position. And what I mean by that is, as a new mom, building a new life every single month with your profession. Now, is there a whole, listen, I had a very dear friend who her entire market, her entire business, 200,000 strong, was moms with a unique twist, homeschoolers. That was the primary focus. So I say all of that to say this. This is your moment. Every moment is your moment. Find your specific niche. Those of you that are starting the Secret Sauce Academy tomorrow, again, there's going to be 2 sessions, one at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time and one at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You'll be getting the link to the Zooms. They'll all be unique Zoom numbers and all of that stuff. So you're going to have to check your emails. Some of you aren't checking your emails. Check your emails. I know the ones who are checking their emails because you were just sent a list for me to get your addresses to be able to send some stuff to you. So that being said, what's next? You have a choice in this moment. What got you here, A, can't get you out of here. What got you here can't get you out of here. What's going to get you out of here is going to be a leaving behind of some of the things that got you here. How many of you get frustrated when you're climbing stairs that the step you're on, the second your foot leaves it, do you go turn around and go, oh, I'm so sorry I left you step? I'm so sorry I left you step. No, you don't even think about it. Because here's the neat thing about that step. In a regular set of stairs, you're going to use it coming down again. So it's not that you can't use what got you here, it just won't get you out of here. You can always remember that step. That step was my favorite. It squeaked. How many of you have a set of stairs and there's one step that squeaks no matter where you step on it? I love that step. Imagine coming back to that house 20 years from now and you walk up the steps and you step on it and it goes, and you go, ah, oh, it brings back memories. You know how many times I tried to skip that step coming in late? So it's the last day of the month. Get to work, keep going, have some success. It's the first day starting next month of the rest of the year. You can double your business. You can double what you did in the first quarter, in the first half. Absolutely, you can double it. Jeremy, I see your hand is up, brother.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Misfits. I want to say thank you, Sean. Thank you, Rhonda, and thank you, Misfits. My inner ranking has been going up every day, and I'm actually making less money than I made last year, and that's okay, because really that's all what it's about. It's your inner ranking. Because my inner ranking is going up, I've had a better connection with my son. I've become a better listener. You guys have all added so much value into that. Just that alone, I mean, wow, what a change you can make in an 8-year-old kids by using the right language, talking to them the right way, understanding where and if there is any frustration. Like now we're doing a kids comic book. So just, yeah, I thank you.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, thank you guys for that. And, you know, when you said outside noise, it really is about taking out all outside noise. Making that a consistent everyday habit like drinking water is so key, because our energies, when our ranking keeps going up every day, our energies, our vibration is higher than the outside world's right now. So when I go to the gym, I see a lower energy, and you can't let that bother you. That's part of cutting out that outside noise. And just being consistent. So I thank you for this call, because this is part of being consistent, along with the meditations, along with, taking care of how you eat and all that. When you do all that and you stay consistent, then it's very easy to climb that staircase of your inner ranking. And then everything else is going to come. So, what Ann said about, what did she wrote? She wrote, have a newfound respect for yourself. And that's really what it's all about. Every day, growing that respect for yourself every day is the key to success. And I just feel like anything's possible with any of us right now. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. That's extraordinarily true. And as you were speaking, something popped into my head about eating healthy. It's real easy to eat healthy. Imagine if there was only healthy food at the stores. It's about being able to say no to all of the other easy stuff. Now, is it easy to eat healthy? No, until Jim Rohn's favorite word, until you could just look at something else and go, no, you know what that does to you? It's kind of like trying to tell people about soft drinks. Well, yeah, but I only have like 4. Okay. Right. So awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate you, brother. Delia, let's go to Miami.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very good, Delia.
I have a question.
Okay.
What would be the best way to move someone? And I know that it's not within my power, okay? But it's not within my power to move someone from misery to joy. But what would be the best way? Like when you were asking this morning, where were you a year ago at this time compared to 2020? I immediately saw myself better. I immediately have the mindset that Jeremy has. Yes, I was enrolling people in my other company in automatic, just by attraction of the videos, but I had no skills in sales like I'm acquiring now. And a lot of things were loose ends around my life, which have, because of my effort and because of the habits that I put a year ago, everything has fallen into place and everything is like, in harmony, if I may say that. So how do you impress on your loved one or loved ones when they don't see the picture? I pray, but when I post a question, the people might say, oh no, I'm worse than 7 years ago. Oh no, I'm downhill. I just be quiet and pray. In the past, I used to argue and try to prove my point. Since I've been in this community, it's like I knew this for the past 16 years, not to argue, just to accept it and let it be and move on. But I didn't have the control emotionally to let go. I would tug a war like a dog. And I prayed so hard these past 6 months that when that happens, I don't get into the tornado, that I'm actually staying quiet and becoming the observer. But if I'm talking to a prospect, because now it's business, if I'm talking to a prospect and they tell me, my life is going downhill, this coronavirus, blah, 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 and it could be a family member.
Sure.
That says, I have no money. And it's like the picture that they have, even though they have inherited.
So Delia, let me help you. Your question was how could you impress joy upon their life without trying to control them? I think that's your question.
Exactly.
But watch. That's your question. But you went into 6 minutes of trying to defend their position.
Okay.
Forget it. Stay in your joy. You were getting out of joy even telling the story about how do you stay in joy.
Yes.
Stop. How do you help them? Stay in joy. Yeah, but I really want to help them. Stay in joy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I need them in joy. By getting
No.
out of joy?
No, I don't need
No. I'm just saying. When you say I've been praying, pray for you. Don't pray for them.
No, I pray for me. No, I wasn't. I've been praying for me that I stay in joy, that their energy doesn't get to me.
Right.
Okay. And I have been successful.
Except for this conversation.
Well, because it irritates me. I guess I am controlled by their behaviors. It's like the addiction to approval,
Yep.
right? You know what it is, Sean? Is exactly what you said a few minutes ago about saying no. Because when they come to me complaining, for me to be the problem solver, knowing after I ask the first question, how can I help you? How may I serve you? And when I give my solution, more misery comes my way is when I have to say silently, okay, enough. Don't even go there, Delia.
Well, and that's the thing. Listen, I may have some solutions. Are you willing to, it comes back to how long are you willing to own this story? Them. That's what I ask for. How long are you want to own this story you currently have? I want to change it. Great. When are you ready to change it? Cool. I've got a couple of suggestions. They're probably things you've never thought of, and that's probably a good thing. Well, I can't do that. Awesome. Continue to own your story, and I love you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Me too.
I'll never forget one time, again, because people are so conditioned. I was in a very empathetic time in my life, and I was at a casino. And that's probably not the best place to have a heartfelt conversation with an American Indian, because it didn't go well. It didn't go well. Because I really wanted to have somebody help me understand. And it just didn't go well. I had good intentions, but they couldn't hear my good intentions. And yeah, it didn't go well. So, yeah, but Delia, when they come to you and they say, I've got a problem, listen, do you want to change? Are you willing to change? And what are you willing to do to have the change? Awesome. So if I offer you a suggestion, I'm not the problem, right? So if I offer you a suggestion you've not heard or you think is stupid, would it be fair to say you're not ready to change? Because until you try it and it doesn't work, well, I've tried that before. You haven't tried this. This is a different time. If you tried something last month, it's different this month. Let alone 5 years ago or 10 years ago when you tried whatever solution it is you're offering. Daniela, good morning, Daniela.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
Outstanding, my love.
Good, good. So I've been wanting to ask you this for a while, but of course, I haven't done it. And yesterday I was like, that's it. I'm gonna ask him. Because I feel it's been taking a lot from me. So I kind of need to fix it.
Okay.
So I feel I've been growing a lot in different areas of my life. It's fair to say that, and I'm proud of that. But of course, like the business part, it hasn't grown as I wanted, I guess.
Okay.
And like, of course, I feel guilty, really guilty every time I like think about it
Okay.
or whatever. So yes, like I guess I had enough,
Okay.
but like I don't know where to start. It's like a newborn when they have to walk
Okay.
and they don't know how to do it. It's literally like that. Like I got to that point like I don't even know how to do it anymore,
Okay.
So
So let me ask you this. Is it okay if the story changes?
yes,
And if the new story changes, what does the new story sound like? Don't worry about the technique. Don't worry about what to do or how to do or what does it look like. What's the new story you want to tell?
that I want to be success in the business.
Okay. And so describe success in the business to you right now. What would be some primary indicators, some initial indicators that would allow you to say, success is happening?
I start enrolling people.
Okay. So do you have a knowledge of the language it takes to enroll people? Have you enrolled anybody in the past?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a knowledge of what it takes to enroll people. Okay. So do you have to learn anything new about that language, about that particular model of enrollment? Is there anything new you need to incorporate?
For sure, yes. Like I've been learning a lot from you, so like I feel the ways I done it before are completely wrong.
Well, but it worked. It worked. So it worked. What's different is that maybe the retention.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So what if if you used what worked and then incorporated more language for retention, that probably would serve you. But is it okay if you start with something to be able to get people to get started? Can you take what what worked, what enrolled people, right? And begin to start to filter in some of the new understanding that you have that you believe will serve you. But here's the thing, this new understanding, if we just look at it, if we take a snapshot and you handed me a picture of your business and there's minimal enrollments right now, I'd say what you're doing isn't working. So it might be fair to say what I've taught you doesn't work. Follow me on this. Follow me. Now, the question is that this idea that you've done it all wrong is not true. What you did worked. What's happening now isn't working. Fair statement, right?
Right.
Okay, so we've got to get back to the activity that you know to do. Maybe there's some things you can incorporate in and along the way of this new dialogue. But to say what you did was wrong is absolutely false because it worked, and there's nothing happening now. So what's now doesn't work. We're just looking at a snapshot. So I would encourage you to start to realize that you do have the capability and the capacity to enroll people. True or not true?
Yes, true.
True. So you now have some newfound knowledge that might help with retention. True or not true?
Yes, true.
So with those two things, do you think your business could grow exponentially if you were able to incorporate them?
For sure.
So when do you want to start incorporating them?
Today.
And so what's the first thing you have to say to somebody to get them to have a gander, to have a view at your business?
What do I have to say to them?
Yeah, what would, so if you came across somebody, how would you invite them to look at your business?
Well, I will start with a conversation for sure, right? And
Okay, so what would be the first thing you'd say in the conversation?
hello.
Literally basic. Yeah, hello. So can you say hello to people today?
Yes.
Cool. So you can start building your business right now.
That's true.
So this disappointment was yesterday. The joy is in today. You know how to say hello. You know how to enroll people. You know how to retain people. It may be a little messy in the beginning, yet you have the skills to go start to build your business today. You have the capacity and capability to say hello. You have the capacity and capability to say hello in a newfound format of more love and joy. You have the ability to hear prospects, what they say and what they're not saying in a way you've never heard before.
Right.
Is it okay if you go serve today?
Yes.
How do you feel now based upon when you started the question?
Feel good. I feel good. Like I feel good.
Do you now believe you can do it?
Yes.
Do you have enough courage that you know that you'll do it?
Yes.
Okay. What else is your question? What other question? There's a part 2 to that question, I feel.
Mm, no, I mean, I just think I have like I have been hiding. You know, that's the picture I have in my mind, like a little girl hiding behind the
Okay.
bed.
And so
And like
now, is there anything that we need to talk about that you were hiding from?
yeah, like the rejection.
Okay. But now you know what rejection truly is. When they say no to you, who are they really saying no to?
Themselves.
And can you now ask questions that would keep them from saying no to you? Still
Yes.
allows them to say no to themselves, right? The 3 questions: permission to help, make you feel uncomfortable, take you out of the uncomfortable feeling. If you ask those
Yeah.
questions, can they ever say no to you? They're saying no to
No.
your help. That's not no to you. That's no to themselves. Do you think you could help the people you're about to have a conversation with?
That's the thing. Like I feel I enroll people, and well, I haven't had the retention I want. So of course that start bringing a story inside me that is like, I don't know if I can help them. You know, like if they're not in the business, and I guess it's because I couldn't help them. You know, so it's like that always
Well, let's
came
just
back.
change
Came
that.
back.
When you sign up and they sign the paperwork, are they signing up as an employee or as an independent business owner?
Independence.
So if your job was to go out and start a whole bunch of grocery stores and the people bought the grocery store, who's responsible to make sure the grocery store works? The people that own it, right?
Right.
Do you own their businesses?
No.
They own their businesses. Is there a system in place that they could have asked for help?
Yes.
Yeah, so they chose not to ask for help. Now, our job as an enroller is to make sure we guide them and give them the best chances to make sure they feel comfortable to ask for help. So what you'll do now, as you start to enroll more people and begin to enroll more folks, is say, listen, are you okay with asking for help? How do I need to serve you best? Do I need to check in with you on a daily basis? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? You'll start to ask them to set the stage. Because if you've got to run around and do everything for everybody, that's exhausting.
That's true. Like I feel like I've been, listening to you for like 8 months already or something like that. And not like all those questions are amazing. And I'm like, every time you say that, I'm like, yes, that's true. Why I haven't done it? Oh my God, la la la. But then like I get in front of the prospect and I'm start like sweating and shaking and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot everything. I don't use the questions. I just like
So
it's insane. It's
do
insane.
you have any friends on this call?
Yes, I guess.
Okay. What's one of the names of somebody you could call and practice with?
Laura.
Okay. So I would call Laura and I would practice until you guys are blue in the face. See, I think maybe it was Jim Carrey. I don't know who it was. Practice until you can't fail. Don't practice to get it good. Practice until it's impossible to fail.
Yeah.
That's the challenge is that you're practicing in front of a prospect.
That's true. That's so
Prac-
true.
When you're in front of a prospect, it requires performance. That's why you beat yourself up, because you knew the performance, you forgot the notes, you missed the timing, and you fell short. Well, here's the good news. You learn that. I wouldn't perform in front of prospects anymore. I would practice with friends.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
And
You're
I
right.
would start prospecting yourself. Hi, Daniela. Hi, Daniela. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you? Ooh, I love that dress. Oh, don't you love this dress? I love this. Listen, you need to do that. There was a year, a whole year where I prospected myself. I prospected as an astronaut, as somebody who didn't speak like any language. I prospected to deaf people in my mind. How do you prospect to deaf people? That was a long conversation. Just start prospecting to a whole lot of people in your head. What would be the objection? And one of the things I did was I started to look at everything. Everything. You've seen me do this before, but everything and convert it into leadership. So what's this? Anybody know what this is?
Tape.
Yeah, it's tape. So give me a leadership story on tape, on this tape.
Give you a leadership story. I don't know, Sean.
Okay. You can always ask for help. Say you can phone a friend. So would you like me to give you an example?
Definitely, yes.
You know, do you ever box up a box? Do you ever use packing tape? I mean, like the stuff in the roll. Let me tell you a leadership story about this. You know, one of the things that I love about our profession is, you ever seen there's tape out there that's that paper tape, you can't see through it. See how you can see through this tape? One of the things about the best leaders in our profession is that they're just like this boxing tape. You can see right through them to the core. And sometimes when you ever hear, anybody knows what that noise is, right? Everybody knows what that noise is. That's the noise of leadership, because it's going to sound squeaky. It's going to sound agitated. It's going to sound aggravating. It's going to make you feel like, but you know exactly what that sound is. And when you get around good leadership, you're going to know exactly what good leadership sounds like. The other thing that I like about this is that it's really sticky, is that good leadership is sticky. And what I really, really like about a good boxing tape and leadership is that if you get the right stuff in the box, and anything that's worthy to put in the box that you're going to ship needs to be worthy to be put in the box. Anything that you're going to ship yourself to a new level, to a new goal, to a new success, you want to make sure it stays in the box. And that's what good packing tape does. It keeps it in the box. And that's what good leadership does, is it keeps it in the box.
That's amazing.
That's what I would encourage you to do, is start to look at everything. Just start to see things in a different way. And we can do that about anything. I can do about this cap, about a mouse, about a pen, about nutritionals, about, I don't know, packing tape that got stuck together. It doesn't matter. When you start to be able to look at everything as leadership, it starts you off in a new way. Does that
Yes,
help?
definitely. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
So, do you have the skills capable of enrolling people?
Yes.
Do you have the ability to truly love people and help them have more?
Yes.
Do you have the ability to introduce the new people you have to people on your team?
Yes.
Do you have a system that works pretty darn well to help people educate themselves?
Yes.
Do you have the ability to help people plug into those systems if they ask for your help?
Yes.
Do you have the ability to recognize people when they do good things, when they do the right business activities? Can you say congratulations to them?
Yes.
So based upon somebody with all of those skills and talents, should they hide behind the bed anymore?
No.
And if you decide to hide behind the bed, do you have a few people you could call that would kick you out from behind the bed?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I hope I'm on that list.
Yes, you are.
Ah! So now you can IM me and go, I'm thinking about going back to the bed. And great. I'll text you a couple of words and you'll get out from behind the bed. So here's the next question. Here's a tough question. Do I have your permission to ask you a tough question?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the love?
Yes.
Cool. Now, you just hid your health and you made yourself small. So answer me the question again. Are you ready for the love?
I am ready for the love.
Okay. That's the thing. That's the thing that's so important, is that when you're ready for the love, as a strong, beautiful Colombian woman who's been through hell in a handbasket, who's had to deal with things that most of us will never have to have understood about immigration and conversations and dealing with that. It's one thing to be from there. It's another thing to come from there midlife at 14. Right? So
Right.
dealing with that exchange, and you're absolutely beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're smart, you're brilliant, you're funny, you're all of this stuff. And now we're going to add rich to it. Oh, that's just too much. Let's add rich to it. Because now you can serve. There's a lot of things you want to do in this world. There's a lot of people you want to help in this world. You can help them being poor. It's time to be rich. Wallace D. Waddle says you have a right to be rich. Is it okay if you use that right?
Yeah.
How do you feel now?
Better.
Okay. So there's a difference between motivation and inspiration. I'm going to ask you to find the inspiration, the entheos, the God within, that allows you to stand in your sacred space. And Dana's right. You have an obligation to be rich. If you have ideas and thoughts that need to be done, that need to be used, that need to be served, you have an obligation to be rich. You have to get rich to fulfill your dreams and goals.
Yes.
We just happen to live in a world where the richness is based upon monetary means. That's a small portion of it, because we've seen rich people who are absolutely miserable. We've seen rich people who kill themselves. They have everything they want. They can click their fingers and go make $10 million, and they kill themselves. Let's go be rich.
Let's go.
Outstanding.
Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you very much too.
Thank you.
Hey, Steph. How are you, Steph?
Hey,
Hey.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Outstanding, my love.
Okay, there we go. Hi. I've messaged you this morning, and I wasn't sure if I want to talk about it here or privately with you.
So that's your choice.
Yeah, but I decided I'm gonna do it here because you never know if someone maybe had like similar issues or thoughts or whatever, and it could help.
Okay.
So last week when we did the 21 and 5.
Yep.
And we went through my list. And you dream big for me, basically. And about, flying kids and their families out and having real estate next to the hospital so they can stay there, which really touched me. And then this morning, after the last couple of weeks, waking up at 4:30 this morning, I actually got up at 4:30 for the first time, sat on the balcony and just did my journaling. And then I remembered a thought that I had a couple days after we had this call last week. And I completely forgot about the thought. And it came to me this morning and it scared me. What I thought last week is, I thought of that conversation and the picture you painted for me. And I had this quick thought about, okay, but how am I going to make money with the real estate if I let them stay there for free? And I thought about that this morning and I got scared. I'm like, am I really that materialistic and really that focused on money? And it scared me. And I didn't know how to handle that.
So could I answer that for you?
Yes.
So when you make money in the business world, how do you offset profits?
What do you mean?
Very simple. Just there's a profit statement and there's a profit and what statement. It's called a profit and or P&L statement called as a profit and loss statement.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you offset profit is you have write-offs. You have business expenses. And imagine if you paid $1 million for the piece of property. If you buy a piece of property and it's $1 million, you pay property taxes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so now in your business, and if you owned a business and your business made $1 million, you can maybe write off some of your interest on the interest that you pay on the loan, but that's about it. But now if it's a resource center for your business, for your charity, and you buy it as a 501c3 or you buy it in an endowment fund, now any money that goes into that house is actually an expense, a write-off. So if you made $1 million in your business and you had to spend $40,000 a year in upkeep and the mortgage on that property, you get to write off $280,000 off of your $1 million, but now that's still all profit to you and to the charity. So you just made whatever 38% is tax on a business right now. So not only did you make 38% on 200,000, that's 10, that's 20, $60,000 in profit. You got to write off the whole thing in a charity format. You got psychic income, and now your business actually made money. Do you realize that business owners pay the least taxes?
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're worrying about the how, which is where we worry about the strategy. It's just the mindset. Do you think there's people that own that own real estate that they use as a write-off to hide their profits based upon the rules of well, not breaking the rules, just the rules that are out there? There's a different set of rules for me as a business owner than there is for me as a John Doe.
Hmm.
That's why I have 6 businesses. It's why one of them every year, I'll be damned, they always lose money. The freaking guy who runs it should be shot. Wait. You're just stepping into the business world.
Okay. I don't know. I just got scared by the thought because I was like.
So was it the thought that scared you or the change that scared you?
To me in that moment, it was the thought because I felt like.
Yeah, but if you had that.
Something good and I'm thinking.
Right. But follow me. I'm not going to let you go down this path and get lost.
Okay.
You're having this new thought. The new thought you had isn't scary. It's the change of the new thought. If all of a sudden you had real estate, that would be a change, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you had real estate, that would be the thought of real estate isn't the scary thing. It's the change. And that's the how. Everybody focuses on the strategy. Listen, I'll say it again. It's not your desire that's waning. Your desire is 100% full on, fired up, ready to go. It's the plan that sucks. So have the dream. Now here's the question. Now that you had the dream and you're talking about it still, now that I just showed you there's 17 ways to make that property by the hospital profitable, do you believe me?
Of course I believe you.
Okay, cool. Then there's no reason to have that dream anymore, is it? You can go, "Phew, glad that's over." Don't go back to it. Don't go back to it. Yeah, but I got scared. You're going back to it. You just got the answer. In this moment, misery or joy, which do you choose?
Joy.
Okay, tell your face. I love you.
I love you too.
But tell your body. Yeah, joy. Yeah, I'm in joy. Total joy.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping that's is this the right terminology? Blunt? That's not a blunt Leo has, is it? Is that how you smoke it?
Red-handed. Call me red-handed. No, it's just telephone.
All I see is going like, I go, I thought you puffed on it. How do you smoke a joint?
It's so funny.
So, Steph, how you feeling?
Happier, smiling.
Is it okay? Is it okay that that story no longer exists?
Yes.
The fear of it.
Yeah.
See, when you're worrying about the strategy, that's where you'll get lost. The strategy is important. I get it, but it's the mindset. This is the secret sauce. It's the mindset. And now that you've come and you've gotten an answer that seems to be reasonable, right? It's a reasonable answer. The laws in the UK, the laws in Germany are different than the US, but there's people in Germany that own a lot of real estate, right? Do you think they own it to lose money? No. So
No.
there's rules in Germany that allow people to have tons of real estate and make tons of money. We just need to understand the laws of Germany. And who's the best person to ask for the laws of real estate in Germany? Very basically, a real estate lawyer. Are there bad real estate lawyers? Are there good ones? What's the difference between the two? What do you think the difference is between the two? Probably how much they cost per hour. So now the question is can we go make enough money in your business to afford a real estate attorney that's $400 or $500 an hour and have 3 hours conversation with them? Do you think we'll get all our questions answered in a $1,500 bill?
Yeah.
Don't I just suck at that? It's just, God dang it, what a pissy, jeez.
No, it's just, I just love how you make me think differently. Like this morning when I wrote in my journal, I was just getting at myself. I'm like, why are you so materialistic? Why are you only focusing on the money? It like the money doesn't matter. Like that's how I thought this morning. Like I felt bad that I had that thought.
Well, and that's the self-doubt and all of that stuff. That's the old story showing up because, well, I'm not worried about money. I'm worried as hell about money because I want to, you know how many kids I got to go save? I need shitloads of money. I need bucketfuls. I need dump truckfuls. And that's how organizations start. That's how charities start. Imagine if you did a co-op. Imagine if you got 10 of your friends to each put $1,000 in and you rented a flat right now and you started a flat and each of you spent $1,000, I don't know, 200 pounds, 300 pounds a month, and you rented a flat near the house and nobody really knew about it. But I can promise you, if one family stayed at that flat, that 10 of you were that co-opt and one family stayed there, how long do you think it would be before there's a waiting list of people to get into that flat? Because don't sick families know sick families?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, if I don't know what a flat near the hospital would be, but I know there's nurses that stay near the hospital, so there's got to be flats there. And all of a sudden, what if 20 of you put 100 pounds in? That's $2,000, and that was your charity. And 20 of you put the 100 pounds in, and you never even advertised it. Do you know how long the waiting list would be to get into your free flat for your family near the hospital? You could start today. Do you know 20 friends? I'll put up 100 pounds. So you got your first investor. Go find 19 more. Go find out what the flat rate is near there and figure out what 10 of us or 20 of us would need to put in. I donate $3.50 to the donkey farm. I don't even know what the hell that is. It's a donkey sanctuary. I saw it on and the guy's brilliant. The guy's brilliant. He's a teacher, but it was $3.50 to get the Insiders Club. I'm part of a Facebook group now that's the Insiders the Club for the donkey sanctuary. Really? Really? I got that in my resume. I'm a certified addiction to approval coach, and I'm a founding member of the donkey sanctuary.
I have to unfortunately get off. My
Okay,
boss is
love
calling
you.
me. Love you too. Thank you.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.
RBP, where are you at?
I'm right here.
What'd you pick up from that conversation? From the smarter brain perspective.
I have a big, huge thank you to everybody, to y'all, to everybody on this call, because I wrote down, y'all helped me. You yanked my head back out of my, well, you got me lined out. We'll say it like that, so I don't get to.
So as your head was coming out, that's why your hair's still standing up.
Yeah, that's why my hair's going whoop. That's why there's no makeup either. No, I was listening to everybody this morning, and I was obviously listening to my own brain the last couple of days. And I've kind of been wondering, where's my center? I'm off a little bit, and I've just been sitting with myself trying to figure out, where am I off a little bit? What is this? And one of the reasons I haven't had this discussion with you just yet is I wasn't lost, and I wanted to see me create the path for my rescue story. How do you rescue yourself out of one way of thinking and back into the other? And I know I've always got you there. If I go, okay, I can't find it, help me find it. So I've been looking for that, and listening to everybody this morning. I started off with the basic questions like you were asking, can I remain in joy no matter what? What does that look like and feel like and sound like? And is it okay for me to have a new story? And what does a new story say? So I started off there. And as I listened to everybody, my mind went to who I know I am. And I began to say, this sounds more business-based and less heart-based. And I feel like that's where I'm missing at the moment. I feel like that's my road back into my joy, my happy spot, my happy place, my secret sauce, where I thrive, where I do my best. And I wrote, I need to go back to my heart and get out of my head and go back into what it feels like and where that is. And I wrote down, we must stay in our heart. So this is for me. That's where I feel I can speak from best, is my heart. So then you began to ask the question, and this kind of made me feel good. I kind of gave myself a little pat on the back, a little atta-girl when you said, I have prospected so many people in my head. And I went, oh my gosh, I do that all the time. I prospect high-end people. I prospect people that can't even afford, they ain't got 2 pennies to rub together. I prospect everybody in my head, what it would sound like, what it would look like, what it would feel like, how I sound, how I feel doing that. You can sit on my lap if you want to. And I do that all the time. So I thought, okay, that makes me feel good. And then I said, I have all I need to be successful. I have everything. And then the last part that you said to Steffi was the big key for me as the red flag going, hey, you're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. And this is important to me because it'll be great use in the future. And you said the strategy is important, but the mindset is the key, and you'll get lost in the strategy. And I thought, that's interesting. I'll be sitting with that when I sit down to journal, probably for a few days, because there is a strategy, but the strategy that comes from my head, the strategy that comes from my heart, what does that look like? I guess you're catching me. You're getting a moment where some of this conversation is usually a one-on-one with Sean and I, because he'll hear me talk like this and he'll get that smirk on his face where his little right side of his cheek starts puffing up more than the left side. And I'm kind of in that place where I'm like, okay, that's where I missed the mark for some of the goals I had for this month. Is I got out of my heart, I got more into my head, and I got lost more in the strategy while being in my head. Now, when I'm in my heart space and I speak of strategy, then it's a total different conversation. The strategy is totally different. And it's all heart feelings based and not business based. And I confuse myself a lot of times because I'll try to be a business person in my head space, and I don't do well there. Just personally, I don't do well there. But I'm hugely successful when I remain in my heart space and I have a business strategy from my heart. And it's very different sounding. It's very different feeling. It's as if y'all's conversation took like 500 pounds off my shoulders. And I've had like this, So I honestly, because y'all put me in, good morning, baby. Because y'all put me in such a heart space, I picked up some colored pens and just kind of started doodling it and coloring, and just, that really sounded East Texas, coloring, and just had a moment to release. Y'all gave me a release. That's why I said I started with a big thank you. Y'all gave me a release, which put me back into my heart, because my head is loud and it is fast. Yes. Sean knows. That's why he sits way back from the screen. My brain can go at a super fast pace, and I can analyze and visualize and every other kind of eyes you can think of. And y'all's conversation and the place y'all are today, I'm so grateful, because you helped me go back to my heart. And when I'm there, that's where God made me to function. And that's where I can sit in my secret sauce. And that's where I can see each one of you better. And that's where, when I prayed earlier today, that's where I can have God's eyes to see you with, and God's eyes to see myself with. And when I look through those eyes, everybody is beautiful and perfect, and everybody's heart beats. And I hear that, the thud, like I was talking about when Leo dances, and that rhythm, and I get into that rhythm, and then that puts me in a place where I can serve anybody. I can talk to anybody, whether they agree or disagree with me. There's no conversation I can't have. And that's celebration worthy. So if in June I may not have met all those business goals that I had, all those number goals that I have, I did, yes, you may. I did make a goal that I didn't even know I necessarily had yet. And it was to be fully heart-centered and back in my heart. So thank you. I love each one of y'all.
And to let you all in on a rest of the story, is
let's say
this has been for 2 months, right? Last month hit the target, and this month was to hit another target. To do the numbers that we wanted to do, not really difficult. Could have done it, easily have done it. could have just really absolutely ripped through it and been done with it 3/4 of the way of the month. As you step into your leadership role, and I'm talking to everybody else that's on the call, where I sit from, why would you let somebody go through that and not hit a target so they can see the bigger target? When you sit knowing that you're leaving a legacy for 600 generations, 1 month ain't a big issue. 2 months ain't a
Nope.
big issue. 1 year isn't a big issue.
No, but I felt you. I felt you going, yeah, I ain't gonna do it for her. I ain't gonna do it for her. I felt you the way when my dad and I would be working on a truck, or would be out chopping wood or doing water wells or whatever he had me doing with him. And yes, I was raised more like a boy than a girl. There would be times where I'd be doing something and Dad could have come over and done it for me and showed me how to work smarter and not harder. But there was times where Dad pulled back on the reins for himself, and he's like, I'm just going to sit here and let her figure this out for a minute, because when she does, she'll never forget this lesson, and it'll put her where she needs to be, and she'll have much more respect for the people that have done this before her. And she'll also learn what tools she'll need to be able to do this next time more efficiently. So I felt you do that. I felt you pull back, and I knew you did. And I didn't ask because I knew what you were doing. I did. So then it's just been waiting for the, well, you know, when I get out of my own way, the answer will come. And that's okay. That's why I'm over here giggling about it but a year ago, this would have devastated me. Stupid freaking man. He could have told me what to do and I could have had success. And it would have devastated me because I was so frustrated with everything. I'm in such a better place with myself that I see the lesson and the mentorship instead of the selfish thinking on my part. So that's huge. This is how many people are on here?
32.
This is 32 people getting to see a one-on-one that Sean and I usually have that no one else is privy to. Pretty much. And y'all probably going, that's really surface. Well, you might not want to see the rest. So
there you go, folks.
Yeah.
I've got to wrap it up. I've got some things I got to get done. So last words, Rhonda? I love everybody. I love Ann. I love Bakumi. I love Laura.
I do. I love them all. I love them all. I don't know what I do to them and their brains. Hopefully it's all good. I get so tickled that the other day I was talking to Daniela, and she had some issues, and I told her, and we basically had the same issues, and it was mind-blowing to her, and she was like, I didn't know any of this about you. And I'm like, I guess I need to do a better job of telling people. I just assumed people already knew things about me. And then here I go, finally saying, all right, you know what, I'm just going to pull the veil down a little bit and let people see me. So I hope I don't scare y'all. And I do. I love every one of y'all, and y'all always hype me up. And Wonder Woman brain. Oh, girl, you don't want this Rhonda brain. Trust me. That God made one, and there was a reason. But I would say, sit with yourself and find that moment where when you breathe into your heart space. There's ways when Dr. Amy comes on and teaches us how to breathe, and all of a sudden pain mysteriously leaves, and you're like, how'd that happen? You can do the same breathing into your heart space, because you guys helped me do it today. And I would sit with yourself. I'm going to sit with me. Some of it will be coloring with my daughter. And I will sit in a heart and breathe into my heart space and let my voice come from my heart instead of my head. and then I'll write down the different things that it says. And they might go in the click journal or they might go in the regular journal. I don't know. We'll have to see that later, see what comes out. I don't know what's about to come out, but I know this. This is half of 2020 ends today. And the next half is only going to be better if you allow that better to come through. What is it? Until. That favorite word, until. So I don't know. I love y'all. Yes, I'm going to say it, Sean. I love y'all. I love every one of y'all. Y'all are amazing. And thanks for pouring into me today. Every one of y'all's energy, every one of your comments that I could see, everything. I love y'all. There you go.
So, your head misfit, along with all of you amazing misfits. I'm Sean Murphy, founder of Mental Profits. I'll see y'all where?
Next event.
At the next
At the
event.
next event.
You guys.
At the next
See y'all
event.
tomorrow.
Have a great
See you in the second half of 2020. Y'all send some love.
Love y'all.
Have a great day.
Have a great
Bye,
day. Enjoy the
everyone.
beach, Heather. Love
Heather,
y'all. Love you,
two-star.
babe. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, look at 'em
Oh,
all.
sweet babies. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
Love you too.
Oh,
Oh, Superman.
Superman.
Wonder Woman loves you.